this is the Brass Love on Healer to Roll 9 here on YouTube. Now, hearing about Hurricane Milton and hearing just about the Carolinas and just the hurricanes in general. Today it brought me back to Hurricane Katrina, one of the worst disasters that I know about, as far as people losing their lives and being devastated, losing their homes, their families, their dignity, everything it was, being dislocated, being moved here, moved there, not having food, not having pampers, not having toiletries, not being able to eat, and all kind of things. Because during that time period, I remember online, I'm going to show you some of my newspapers that I have, because I keep a lot of things that's important to me. Hurricane Katrina happened a lot of years ago now, right? But the thing is, it was terrible for the residents there because the president didn't move fast on things. He delayed things a lot because he knew that the hurricane was coming or whatever was going on, and he still didn't help move the people out in time. A lot of people could have made it, could have got out in time maybe if he sent buses or whatever he needed to send to get them out, but he hesitated until the last minute, and it made a lot of people lose their lives and lose their families where they don't know where they're at, and all kind of different things happen, because of the delay. So we can't have a delay going on when it's something that's drastic and tragic. We have to move on it. We can't be delaying things when we have people's lives at stake, because people's lives was at stake. This wasn't just some the lights not working in the ceiling. This people's lives at stake, and it was delayed, and that's not acceptable. But at the time period, it was acceptable, because you can't do anything but just wait for whoever you have in charge to take charge. But he didn't take charge in the right timing. So let's just see. We're gonna go back. I'm gonna show some of these some of the papers that I have. I'm not gonna read a bunch, but you can see. Ruined city turns violent. Thousands of guard troops try to restore order. We got a lot of people there, up there. It's trash everywhere, water everywhere. Baby wondering why mommy crying, because most of the time our babies don't see us cry. They do the crying. So she wondering why my mommy crying. Because they don't see us cry. They the ones do the crying. So we got a lot. Those remain in cities, fending for themselves. So we got the National Guard or whoever that is down here. Bunch of people, trash everywhere, water everywhere. It just was a disaster. So let me just show some more that I have. So this was so devastating back then. I didn't live there, and just us looking at the TV footage back then, me and my children and myself, we was hollering at the TV. We was crying, we was hollering at the TV, we was fussing at the president, we was fussing at anybody who could help them through the TV set though. So it was terrible. So we have Katrina. So this is dated September the 2nd, 2005. So this paper is, so it says Katrina wake at the top, right? So we have a man here. You can see him good. He outside of his house. Looter be aware. So he worrying about his property and somebody stealing from him, because people going around taking what they want to take because they don't have their stuff intact. So they going taking from somebody else. So he worried about that right there. So evidently he don't have a whole lot of water over where he at, because he worrying about what's going to be taken from him. So let's just see what else. So let me go slow now. Okay, here we go. is a shambles. It's terrible. It's like a third world country. You can't see it good, but it's like a third world country. You might can look it up on the computer and see all these images that I see. Like a third world country. Katrina was like a third world country in our United States. Hurricane has gone, as has familiar landscape. In face of criticism, the president acting to manage Katrina crisis, but he acted too late. I told you, because he hesitated hard. It was a disaster. So by the time he even acted to do whatever he wanted to do, he was like 2 days or a day too late or whatever was going on. I think it was like 3 days, or was it 4 days that people didn't have any help. So he was 3 or 4 days too late. Majority of whatever damage was done. Because it was said that there's a lot of dead bodies floating around the water. Everything was floating in the water. Dead bodies, animals, and everything else was in the water. And that was it was unhealthy. It was just an unhealthy site, unhealthy area. People had to walk in a bunch of water to try to get to some kind of dry land somewhere, and that might have been a bridge or something. Their houses floating, people on top of roofs. I never forget that, seeing, I think, a guy waving for help or whatever, him and somebody on top of a roof of his house or wherever. So it was terrible. I never saw anything like that as far as, where we live at. The United States, that is. But that's what it was. Katrina should have touched everybody's hearts if you got a heart. That was terrible, because that could have been your family. And if you got any family there, it definitely, I had family there. I have a cousin there. But I think he said he is up by the French Quarters or something like that, if I'm saying it right. But still, they was touched. Who all was touched was touched. He didn't die anything like that, but what I'm saying is, it's a lot of families who their relatives died, they got separated, they don't know where their loved one is, their mother is, their child is. People got shipped all over the place. People even came here to where I live at. People was here, they got shipped every direction because they was trying to spread people out to send them somewhere, and then that mean they had to try to find out where their loved ones are. Because at that point, they didn't know, that's all they know. They shipped here and they don't know where their sister at, their mother at, or is they okay? Get what I'm saying? It was terrible. He acted too late. So let me just go with another one. Because that was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. I mean heartbreaking, that situation. So it's bringing me back because I'm hearing about this hurricane. But I don't see anything as far as online where it is they saying about a lot of deaths or anything like Hurricane Katrina. But they on top of this right here, so maybe that's a difference. They wasn't on top of Hurricane Katrina. Things ain't had to go like it went with Hurricane Katrina. Because I think they said that the president knew already 2 days before, a day before, whatever, and nothing was done. So I had to look back at the newspaper all the way good to see. But I thought that's what I read. Chaos and despair, rain in New Orleans. New Orleans. Let me show this picture I was trying to. We got a guy with a shirt on his head. It's probably wet, so he probably dried it on his head, I guess. Let's see. Bear with me. The newspapers are long because there was a lot of footage. A lot of, here's a guy on the bottom, if you see with the shirt on his head. Probably wet. And here's people right there. So we had area schools ready to enroll Katrina refugees. So they had to go to different areas, right? So we have chaos and despair, rain in New Orleans. If there's anything else before I let's see. think there's one more and then we finish. Or is that it? Okay. But I'm going to do a story now because I did one on my Hero to Road channel. Disaster brings race class to the forefront. So that's something it made people think about race then as far as valuing different races. It being discriminating. Get my drift, right? Because we got people right here that's in we got people right here, you know, some old people in wheelchairs, it's a bunch of people, so you might can't see them either. But anyway, it brings race to the forefront to make people think that because of class, because of race, you know, you didn't try hard to save the people. You didn't think they was important enough to be saved, to be spared. Let me just say, bear with me because I'm trying to look at all the peoples out here as far as all the stuff. Let's see. Yeah, 2 more and then I'm going to stop it. So it was terrible for everybody for Hurricane Katrina. Anyway, let's just see. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. This one is bent a little bit, but bear with it, okay? Bear with it because I had these pictures put up around. So we had children eating out the box of some kind of food or whatever, trash all over the place, stuff everywhere. Look at the sweetheart. Look at the baby laying on the ground right there. You see the baby? This looks like a third world country. Look at the baby down there. Look at all the trash everywhere. He eating out the box with whatever this is. Look at all the people doing. It was like terrible. And then we got this one. Katrina. Okay. So we have more people. Some man stretched out right here, worn out, tired out. You can see him, right? Okay. National Guard beside him or whatever. People not having water. I think they needed water. They needed water to drink. People dying from not having water, clean water. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. I can't even say it no different than that. It's just showing people feet right here. And we got the soldiers right here, but the soldiers got guns. So the soldiers are standing there with guns like they got a war. They don't have a war. I mean, nobody's at war. People trying to survive. So nobody's at war, but we got the soldiers there with guns. Nobody needs to be shot during that time period. They need to be saved. They need food. They need water, right? But in able to have order, you have to have somebody to help have order, but nobody needs to be shot. So I don't know if 2 people were shot during that time or 3 people was arrested or whatever. But I don't think I heard a whole lot of nothing negative as far as the army or whatever killing anyone. Things like that. But I think some people got arrested because people was breaking in this and breaking in that. But who wouldn't if they need food to eat? Who wouldn't if they need food to eat? Who wouldn't if they needed food to eat? You'll break in a place if you need food to eat if you was in that position. Any of you looking at me and you know it. You're not going to sit there and be proud Mary, be proud Joey or whoever you are and not break in. Break in. If the door open, you might not break in. If the door open, you're going to go in and you're going to get something for you and your family or you on your own. You're going to do it. That's what you call survival. You're not going to sit there and say, oh, this is a store. This belongs to somebody, but the owner not in it. So I ain't going to go in there. But I know I'm hungry. I know the president ain't sent nobody to help us all this time. But it's food in there. I'm going to just sit here and starve. Anybody, even people from the church, anybody in that city at that time was going to go in a store, whatever store, and get food. Anybody. Because the door was wide. If the door was wide open, it's free. It's free to get. If that door was wide open to go in, it was free to get. Okay, so this is the owner that left maybe days ago. The owner might have locked it up or put boards on it and left on the owner's own. Because the owner might have transportation of his or her own where they could just go on their own. But what happened was that the people there was left there. They felt like, well, we left here and we hungry. So what they did was move the boards, I guess, and went in. I don't know. You know, I don't condone nobody stealing no kind of way because I don't condone stealing. But if somebody's hungry and all, I'm not going to say nothing against it. I'm not going to sit and say, oh, well, you shouldn't eat. I mean, I wouldn't say nothing to it. I wouldn't say anything to it because people want to do what they're going to do, what they feel that fit their life right then. In whatever situation, you're going to do what fits your life right then. You might not do what you call the right thing, right? Because it's I'm getting tongue-tied. Is there such thing of doing the right thing? Because sometimes your parents might teach you something, what they might say the right thing, and then there's something else. And you might say, well, you might feel it's right for me to do that, but I don't feel that's the right thing for me to do. You might feel it's okay for me to just let somebody hit me and just forgive them. But I don't feel like that. I want to hit them back. Get what I'm saying? So everybody's right thing ain't the same thing, okay? So unless you're in a position, you don't know what you would do. And I'm quite sure if any of you watching me was in a position like any of those people and you couldn't get out of that city, you would be going inside those stores or anywhere else and getting you something to eat. That's what you call survival. Get what I'm saying? Okay? Okay, so this is going to be talking about anything as far as, I guess, the hurricanes in general or just focusing on Hurricane Katrina. You know, right now it's swift action and whatever's going on right now or whatever's happening now where I don't hear nothing about nobody dying. I don't see nothing going down on my phone or my computer saying about a bunch of people died or in bad shape or anything. I don't hear nothing like that. But Hurricane Katrina, the levees broke and they could have been saved a lot of people, but it just was a delay in saving their lives. It was like all about money, I guess, because it seemed like everything be focused on money. People will let you die because of money. Money is not the root of all evil. It's the people who has the money is or who control the money. It's not the money. To save somebody's life, you worrying about how much something going to cost. Somebody can determine if you live or die because of how much something going to cost. Oh, well, your life ain't worth no $1,500. So I'm just going to let you die or whatever. I'm just throwing an amount out there, get my drift. So buses came eventually for the Hurricane Katrina people who survived. And I think some came for animals who survived. So we had all kind of people there. People in wheelchairs. People probably on oxygen. Animals. People with disabilities. All kind of people was there. Babies need diapers, need milk. All kind of stuff was going on. Somebody might have been on a respirator. We don't know. Quick action wasn't taken. It was lacking in care for the residents of New Orleans. It was lacking at that time. Their lives was not valued like they should have been valued. So let me just do a storyline reading. Because I keep hearing about a hurricane right now. So that's what I asked God. Because you heard what I just said. Look what's coming up. Yeah, I keep hearing about a hurricane. And look what you say. Talking about a hurricane, right? It's not ordinary. But they going to return it back to the sender. So some kind of way, I don't know if it could be controlled. I don't know. Some kind of way they gonna work something out. It's not gonna be a lot of people die like Hurricane Katrina. I bet you that. Because Hurricane Katrina was forced because those levees broke, right? That's what they said, right? It was forced because those levees broke. So it was a force. Hurricanes in general is a force, I feel, right? But yeah, wasn't no help right off the bat for them right there, because they could have got out in a certain amount of time, but the buses wasn't sent, so it was forced. They was forced to stay there. Get my drift. Now, if you had a car, you can go on your own. Some people might want to stay there if they had a car. That's up to them if they choose that. We got a lot of numbers to go with anything. Okay, so we have right here, this would be the president at the time, because the president was in control in getting those buses there, was in control of giving water. I don't know about food, but water, because people wanted water. Babies needed diapers or whatever it was, mainly water, what was going on at that time period. The president was in charge. Number one man, the president. This the president. Make me love you. Get what I just said. This the president. Make me love you. Give me a reason. Give me a reason why I should send the buses for you. Give me a reason why I should send you water. Give me a reason. Because the president was hanging with a popular crowd. And you know who the popular crowd is, right? That's the Congress or whoever they be with at the White House or wherever they be, right? But you in New Orleans, you're a popular crowd, because don't they have fun in New Orleans with them pretty colors and all kind of parades and all that nice fun they have? That makes you be you and make you love you, right? You was going to never stop wanting the best out of love for yourself. So you was reaching out. Everybody's reaching out. Even people that didn't know you all was reaching out to get hope for you. Because you had to love you first. But at that time, it wasn't like that. The president wasn't loving you first. The president wasn't looking at that. He needed to want the best for you all, right? At that time period. So we have, you was dealing with an idiot. And at that time, the president was the idiot that had a popular crowd and network up and that's hooked on to him at the time. Get what I just said, right? Right? Let's just flow. But we dealing with Hurricane Katrina. You was an antelope. You all was an antelope. Right here, dealing with the big boys, the president, because that's who it was. But then you had National Guards or people there too. They the big boys, but you was dealing with the president, because the president is the one that gave the orders, who was trying to insult you all's intelligence at that time. So we have that. You all needed the president to think about it in full, that you all needed help. So we got to put it right here. The president was fulfilling the president's adventure, the copyright, the title as president, right? He needed to do that because he was knowing that she was loose, easy. So right here, I'm going to say weak, right? Because you was in a position where you needed help. So you all was weak. Get what I'm saying? And he knew that, right? So we got full again. Full. We got full 3 times. Full. He needed to take full force, but he didn't, right? He wanted to go on and grow his business, right? And just be president. So he took full force on growing his business, and that is just being a president. But he didn't go full force to help you all. You needed him to be sincere and gather everything that was needed to help you all. I want what I signed up for, a man or a woman. So I'm going to say, you all wanted what you signed up for. The president, the best president at the time, because he was nesting. Right? You didn't know the cause of his anger because it felt like he had anger because why wouldn't he help you? Got some numbers you can turn in any direction. Right? He is the symbol. He has a symbol because he's the president. Right? You was going to drop him next time the next election came. You was going to drop him and make him an ex-president. And you was going to answer your burdens. Because it was like a pendulum. They like green. Trying to get this president to help you at the time. Get my drift? War games. You was going through war games. You dealing with a leader. And that was a president at the time. That you didn't want no negative talk from. You just negative mean he wasn't giving in to you all. He wasn't helping you all. So it's considered negative. Right? If you met the person lesbian or gay, you can feel your God's mission. So I don't know if the president had something against people who in New Orleans that they gay or whatever. I don't know what was going on there, but this is a gay card. Follow me? Silly of me to think that I could fool you. So silly of him to think that he could fool you all if he had a problem with New Orleans in general, that people who gay lit there or whatever it is. So he wanted to slow it down and not come help y'all, whatever that was, what that is, right? You don't know people hang-ups. You don't know. But because people got a title, that don't mean they don't have hang-ups and different things. People got all kind of thoughts. People out here, all of us wanted to stand up against abuse because it was considered abuse. The president not moving on, trying to help you fast enough. Because people out here had a chance to stand up against it and help make a change. Complain to the president or whatever we all had to do and able to make the president get off his butt, put some calls in or whatever he needed to do to make a change. Because he might have had a problem with New Orleans in general because gay people there, because that's a gay card. Silly of me to think that I can fool you. And I got to turn it around for this storyline, maybe that I really don't care about you kind of people, maybe. Anything like that. Because if you got a crowd over here, and yeah. Was he really worth it? Was he really worth it being a president at the time? Because it's like you had to book an appointment to get help. Because people was calling or whatever they was doing to try to get some kind of help from the president, and he was delaying it 2 or 3 days down the road or whatever he did. I would have to read that paper to see how long it took for people to get water or whatever they wanted. Buses, I think buses or whatever they wanted to get out of there. I think it was the buses. Was he really worth it? So this next election coming up, he wasn't going to get voted for if it was up to these people, any of them. They wasn't bringing him back in office. I think it was, let me see, who was in office? Was it Bush? I don't want to get it wrong. I would have to look and see. I think it was him though. One of them. I think it was the second Bush, that one. I really think it was that one. Okay, that's just slow. Okay, I did a Katrina video back then on my Hill to Road channel, but I took that down, so I can't but it was focused on actually a person who was a survivor of it. Get what I'm saying? People couldn't control themselves in their own skin because it was chaotic for people. These are light green. Okay, he might like fashion, dressing up. So here he is. People wanted him to change, the president, because right then he was posing as what he wasn't. Get what this card's saying in this storyline. You heard what I just said right there. Right? Now he's backing it up with this. He is posing as what he wasn't. Because at that time he's supposed to be the president. And I thought the president's supposed to look after the country, after everybody, or whatever they in office for. Right? But he is posing because he didn't do it. Not with Katrina. He came 2 or 3 days late. He didn't protect the people like he should have. And what? They were seeking refuge, right? He was hell-bent on destruction. Continuing the vice. Not giving them the help they needed at the time they needed it. So we have right here number 2. Right? Where's that card I just saw? This right here. He might have a problem with that city there in general. He might have a problem with New Orleans for some reason. Style is key. The people there like style. They like having fun. So he might have a problem with that place. So he wasn't trying to move or do anything for it maybe. He need to bend forward on things though. Because those people like was a caterpillar. So we got the 2 caterpillar cards in here because that's what they was, because they was stuck. Caterpillar, caterpillar. He wasn't one, they was stuck. Where they need to become a butterfly so they can just fly away, but they couldn't. Okay, we dealing with, he was in a political, racist, political, or upscale area. And that's where he lived at. They didn't, right? He needed to be the extension to save the kids. Get what I just said? He needed to be the extension to save the kids. But the parents was trying to be the extension to save their kids. Howling out to him, crying out to him, or whatever. But he needed to do that. Okay? Look at these cards. They wanted the president to take a cup of desire. Help us. Care for us. Give us what we need. He was in the background. He wasn't coming out front and center like he should have. But they wasn't going to shy away and be in the background. They was on the ruse and everything else to try to get attention during their trying times. We got a Pisces, somebody who was judging at the time. So whoever was judging could have just been, if it wasn't a president, it's somebody that's among the people who wounded or whatever, or who in need and they just tired of it. Or somebody that was outside of the situation, number 4. So these people wanted the president to take down the walls. Take down your walls to love us, president. Take down your walls to love us, president. So we can cheer on our achievements. Look at the great city we live in, New Orleans. Take down your walls to love us. But they was dealing with snakes and haters, right? Because we got the president and whoever, strike that. Yeah, they was dealing with haters and snakes. So by the president and whoever else who could help didn't help, that's considered a hater. That's considered somebody who against you. That's considered somebody who didn't want to help you or just don't want the best for you. Now the snakes, I'm going to say, would be in the water maybe, or just people who were stealing, people who was fighting, or in the water, real snakes. Get what I just said, right? Laying down beside you is like my first crush. So this right here, laying down beside you is like my first crush. This is a romantic card. I got to turn it on. Laying down beside you is like my first crush. So I'm going to put this within that dome because they went to the dome. And that's a story in itself. Don't take me there with that dome. Because didn't a pastor own the dome and he didn't want to give it up for the people to be in there? Don't take me there. That made me change up with that pastor. Don't take me there with him. Don't say nothing about you represent God and then God's people need something, you don't give it to them. Don't take me there. So we got right here, laying down beside you is like my first crush. So I'm going to put this where people, families got separated. So they wasn't beside their family members. It was taken away. So we got money time in the mailbox, in the bank accounts or whatever. So we got, the president was concerned about money. Money coming in or money parade or what? Wait a minute. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. So Did I shuffle or I didn't shuffle? I don't know. I think I just was putting the cards down, or was I shuffling? I don't even know. I hate when I get distracted any kind of way because it throws me off. Okay, this is about Hurricane Katrina. Let's flow. Okay, so this is the putting money on. See, because this is about money and this is money back to back. So we got the president. We got the president because he is the man in charge, right? At that time period, right? He was going to stamp his name on Hurricane Katrina. Strike that. Seemed like he wasn't trying to stamp his name on Hurricane Katrina. He was trying to keep money in place. I gotta turn it around because it seemed like he wasn't moving fast to even put a whole lot of money or anything, any kind of effort in. Because here we got money in his mailbox. You know, wherever they have it sitting at, in their funds or wherever they have it at. But because it's money time for him to put out money for Hurricane Katrina. But he's trying to keep money in the bank, hold on to money, keep it still. He really didn't want to do a bunch of stamping the money on Hurricane Katrina. Follow me? So we have right here that, here we go again with Hurricane Katrina. People in New Orleans, they like style and they like having fun. So we got like at least 3 cards. 1, 2, and another one about describing the people there, right? So we have not all the people, but probably majority of them, right? Probably free, you know, kind, like to enjoy life. Okay. The people there wanted a united front. Even us people out here watching, we wanted a united front. All of us was coming together some kind of way to complain to the White House, to the president or whoever, to make some moves to save these people, to give them what they need, to give them water, to get them out of that mess they was in, to get them out of that sewage, because that became a sewage. Get what I'm saying? Dead animals, dead people, trash, waste, toilets, everything, whatever was flowing in that water, full of germs. They wanted to be strong again. Follow me. So we have right here, this is greenery. So it might have been some fussing some kind of way between people there around greenery. So we have, do you have burdens? And yeah, they had a lot of burdens. Because they're dependent on the president and who all hooked to the president to help them as far as the money, as far as money to get some things moving along. And not worry about saving money here, right? If you're not happy with things, you got to do things right. So the people wasn't happy with things, but the president at the time needed to do things right. So we have right here, this caught me off guard. Somebody was cross-dressing. So you know cross-dressing go with dressing like a female or like a man. Get what I'm saying, right? So let's just flow. We're going to turn this around, right? If you met the person straight, you're not obligated to take, if you met the person cross-dressing, you're not obligated to take the person back if you don't want to. Okay, so we're going to go with New Orleans again, right? People there cross-dress, right? So I'm going to say this caught the president off guard, right? Because if he met them cross-dressing, right? He felt he wasn't obligated. Let's just follow. He might got a problem with people who dress like that. Because it just seemed like it in the storyline. Because it says, these are light green. If you met the person, if you met him or her not cross-dressing, you're not obligated to take the person back cross-dressing. So he not obligated to help them if they cross-dressing. They don't have to be straight and able to get no help. They don't have to be not cross-dressing to get help. Seemed like he had a problem with that kind of city, I guess, or whatever's going on here. That's what it's looking like. Let's just follow. He need to be secured and check his mind, follow me, at that time, because people was dependent on him. He was chipping away at the people by not helping them because he felt like he was a pioneer. Okay, let's go. Universe, you know all about it. Okay, you know all about it. Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina. What is this? Oh yeah. Because they like style, they like having fun in New Orleans, right? So let's just see. Give me some more universe during that time for Hurricane Katrina. Was that September? Did you hear me say September? Let me see, did that paper. Well, this paper was, article was written in September, so I think it happened in August though, right? The Katrina? I'm not sure. Let me see when this paper was done though. This paper says September the 3rd, 2005, but I think it happened in August. I'm not sure because we got a September on the table. Do you remember what happened in September? So I think it happened in August, though. I really do. It was a chokehold. Get what I'm saying? A chokehold, a stall, a delay, a putting off of helping the people. It don't have to be September. I think it was August it happened. I really think it happened August and things went into September. I'm just not sure. It was a chokehold. And that means a stall, a put off, a delay, a stop, a pause, whatever it was. A firing or whatever it was. Get what I'm saying? Okay? Because here we got right here. The people was deceived of somebody of service, their president. Get what I'm saying? Okay? National number 41 or 14. I don't know which president was here. What president was here? Let me look and see if that lines up. If that card lines up. Let me just look and see. Because I don't remember. Let me see how many presidents we had so far. Let me see what president he was. Let's just flow and see if that card matches. Let's just flow a little bit. I don't remember right now. Okay. It say 41st, but I don't. But he wasn't. This one wasn't the president at the time. It was this one. It was this Bush here. It wasn't that Bush. Well, I don't know. Let me see. Who was the president at the time? It was this one right here. Okay, but anyway, well, you see that big 41 on there, don't you? Okay, so let's just see. People wanted him to cherish me. Cherish me. Say you sorry for the land and not valuing lives of the people of Hurricane Katrina. Because a pause was put, a stop was put, a delay was put in saving lives. The people of Katrina, they wasn't valued. Class, like they said. Race, gender. Something happened in September. I think that happened in August for some reason, but I don't think it was September. I don't think things went into September because somebody did something strategic. Wherever. It's just deep. Seeking revenge on the Negro because it was people of different races, but Negro was mainly the ones I saw on the TV screen. Okay, so let's just flow. You needed to instill some tenderness. But you was watering things down like it wasn't important. But you see the water, right? So we got watering things down. The water was pulling things down, correct? The people, the furniture, it was pulling everybody down. The water, get my drift. You close your eyes to love other people. Follow me. Males and females, right? Tension was brewing there. And what? Death was the last result. They like green. We dealing with a billfold in a social club. So we got to call this the White House, the Congress, any of you there. Because you got the money. Money was needed. Follow me. Relations to not wanting them as your friend. They wasn't your friend, you felt like. Right? So, you need to embrace your growth though. Embrace your growth to love, to care. Because they was being deceived by you. Somebody of service, the president, national. You're not the 41st one, I think your father was, if I got it right, if I'm looking good, or whichever one. You can turn around and say 41st. Okay, so we have right here that you weren't going to be a people pleaser. This is a people pleaser card, but you weren't going to be a people pleaser. You didn't please the people. This is a people pleaser card, but you weren't going to be a people pleaser. Because you knew your words had power. You weren't going to be a people pleaser. You wasn't going to be going and doing whatever they wanted you to do. Number 10. Might have been at least 10 days. I don't know. Because you was pricing things. Focusing on money. And figure that you can butter them up with something that you might have priced at the last minute. So we got a place right here. So we got to put this right here with going somewhere with somebody you know that's unfamiliar. This a place though. Okay, so let me put this with the people. Stay with me, whoever looking at me. Maybe you're pricing things or whatever to butter the people up. And we're going to make this, that dome that they went to, owned by the pastor, right? Because the people went to the place they weren't familiar with, right? And they trusted, right? The place, get my drift, because it was a pastor's place, right? I'm going to put it that way. But you had to pay that pastor. I don't think it was free, right? That pastor was paid some kind of money to let them people come up in there. Even though it's God's house and he shouldn't have charged anything. So we have right here some dormant behavior. You was holding on for a keepsake. All skin is different, but all blood is red. Everybody's blood is the same, but you ain't look at it like that. Life is life, no matter what color your skin. You need to see it in the world of your mind because you didn't. Right? You was scaling things out for a rosy summer yourself. Where things could start to look good for you, right? But God said, did you like the way you was? Because you didn't treat the people right with Hurricane Katrina. I hear you put them through hell. You put them through torment. That's what I'm hearing in my mind. You was floating on, living your secret life. It was a tablespoon of char that you might have put out to people who was trying to push you to make some moves to save these people. You was going shortcutting. Not a bunch of nothing, right? Shortcutting. Because the people felt they can count on you because you was the president if they lose, right? They've been trying and waiting for a while for you to make a move, right? They wanted sensitivity and kindness and softness from you. So let's take some over here. Okay, let's see. I'm noisy, I know, but I got it. What is this one that fell? Okay, two things on the internet, because you're internet savvy. Two things that could help in the case where you could help the people. There was two things. Whatever it was, could have helped. Where you kind of make it where they didn't go through so much of torture, because they went through torture. universe, you know all about it? Okay, so we got whatever this is. Acknowledge a secret. Here's a secret card. Acknowledge a secret. We got acknowledge a secret. And the secret is what? Is a secret, whatever it is. You knew the hurricane was coming, or the levees was no good, or whatever. It's some kind of secret. So we're going to take this right here. This is a cheating card, but we're going to take it away from love, because we're not talking about love. You wanted the whole pot win right then. And what happened? The candles got put out. A lot of people died. That's what this means. You wanted the whole pot. You wanted to be able to just spend the money like you wanted the money. You really didn't want to give up no money. The people wanted you to make up your mind. You was captivating to the people because you was the person who could help them in charge. Do they call the president the commander-in-chief? I don't forget. Okay. Here's the people. Give me a drink. They wanted a drink. They wanted water. But you might didn't look at it as funny, but you didn't look at it as serious. Okay, so we have right here that do one of them need to prosecute? Because knowing you didn't matter. These people was a star in the light, right? So some kind of way, right here with this card, somebody, do I need to prosecute? Somebody out of the bunch of Hurricane Katrina people, somebody might want to do some suing or come after some kind of way and suing or something. Because they are the star in the light. But they looked at you as the star in the light because you could help them. So spilling it will only help them because they are a conscious thinker. So you wanted them to just wait. Things will be different. Just wait. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so we have right here that with this card here. Okay, I'm so sorry. Children on the porch. Okay, and that's laughter and children playing. We lost a lot of children during Hurricane Katrina. A lot of children who won't be able to do what you hear them children on my porch doing. Playing, laughing, having a good time, playing with their toys. Because they died, because their lives wasn't valued. Because their lives depended on a man to help them. Because God needs somebody, a vessel, to do what God wants done. So the man who was in charge that could make some things happen, pull all the strings, wasn't making the proper moves at the proper time. This card right here say wait until blank. Forget it, say this. Wait until a couple days. Maybe I think different about, I make a decision, follow me, on if I want to send buses, if I want to send water, or whatever it was, okay? So we have right here, forget it, say Cincinnati. Call it New Orleans, right? New Orleans, right? Forget this, say troopers or rangers, and put this with National Guards, okay? The people was going to see it in a moment and jump for joy. When they saw the National Guards, if the National Guards came to them with food, with water, or something like that, they jumped for joy. Because they felt like they was getting some kind of assistance. So we have the people, the community was outcrying, everybody watching TV, everybody all around had an outcry, wanting to know, did you do it? Will you do it? And also the people who was there experiencing it. Will you do it? Did you send help? Will you do it? Or anything like that. They no longer wanted to impress. They wanted help. So they were saying whatever they had to say. Anger and everything was coming out of the people there and the people who wasn't there. Like people like me and my family and anybody else who was looking on TV at this terrible, horrific scene, right? Did you do it? Will you do it? And when are you going to do it? So we have this one right here. During the fall time, something was going to happen during the fall time. What, I don't know. But, yeah. Love don't hurt. Love heals. Love don't hurt. Love heals. And able to love, it helps to heal people. They wanted healing. They wanted love. They wanted water. They wanted to be saved. But instead, they went through a lot of hurt and pain because a lot of people lost their loved ones. A lot of people was tormented all kind of ways, mentally and everything, where they needed counseling, psychiatrists, and everything else because children lost their parents. People lost their wives, husbands, or they just went through whatever they went through themselves from this ordeal. So we have right here the phone. So it was information that was on the phone that could help in this case. That's all needed to happen, was to have some kind of communication. Okay? So let's just see. We got the president was the one in charge, so he is going to be himself. He is going to be him. But ducking wouldn't help him because he had to face this situation. This was a disaster. The people was in pain, right? And we got somebody interacting with drugs. People might have been taking medication, needed medication or anything, right? So we got to make this the president. Like the grandstand, but it wasn't kosher at the time. So we got addiction right here. So we might have had some people down there that had addictions, or it was addictions play a part. So the president had an addiction of being in control, being controlling, because anything can be an addiction, controlling, dominating, not listening, whatever you want to call it. Anything can be an addiction where people let their ego run them or whatever they did. Get what I'm saying? He had to find out why he stuck with that. Right? Because the people was on the battlefield in New Orleans at the time, dealing with Hurricane Katrina. She know the truth. She not innocent in it all. So at this time, this would be, I guess, his wife. Right? Because she know her husband, that his ego, his pride, or whatever it was like an addiction. So he was going to do what he wanted to do. The power to stay silent was no more. So we had all of the people on the outside looking in, like me and anybody else around the world who saw this was going to open their mouth and say what they had to say, call the office or whatever, because we got the phone right here. They probably left messages or whatever all they did to try to communicate with this president to make him act, make him react, make him act. Right? And then we had the people themselves. Wasn't going to keep quiet, right? Because we had cameras and all showing the people. That's how we got the pictures right here that I'm looking at, that I showed you. The people needed the president for financial gain. They needed him to help them, right? God was telling, they was wondering if they could trust. Because we got to go to the president. He was the man in charge, the head honcho. He's the man in charge. Because there's nobody else that could pull the strings, right, but the president at that time, right? There's one if they can trust him. Is he going to do it? Is he going to help us? Because they're dependent on him for financial gain, to gain what they needed. He needed to give up the money or whatever he needed to do to make water come in, buses come in, or whatever he needed to do to make those things happen. There's one if they could trust him. But God didn't want any of them people to hurt anybody. But God didn't want him to hurt anybody. Because people was hurt. Because people died. People was wounded. All kind of things happened. Needed all kind of mental health help because of what was going on. A lot of them wouldn't have to went through what they went through if he would have brought them buses in earlier. And that's a fact. Some people had to sing to themselves, cry to themselves, and do all kind of stuff because they were sad and mad and everything else because he wasn't making the moves that he should have made in the right timing. They wanted to know, what was he bringing to the table? Was he going to come and was he going to send the help they needed? But he also was looking at what was New Orleans bringing to him. The value. Get what I'm saying? The value. These people, that's class, right? They poor, they don't have a lot, they ain't bringing a whole lot to the table, they ain't bringing a whole lot to the community or just New Orleans in general, whatever. Okay, let's just flow. So we have right here, they had to see, he needed to see, these are like when he needed to see that all of these people was worth $1 million plus more. Their lives mattered. He didn't value their lives. Wait a minute. They wanted to get out of the circles that kept them stuck. And the circle that kept them stuck was being in that condition. They were stuck. I'm feeling this because when I think back to that, that was like something that was touching me like I was there. I don't know nobody. I didn't know none of those people I saw, but it felt like they could be my family. So everybody wanted to go through the screen and pull them out if we could. People had to watch their tempers in the cars or in the houses or just around because people was getting heated from the situation. Okay, he was insisting, I guess, that he innocent bystander. And by him saying he an innocent bystander during that time is maybe he didn't know the hurricane was coming or he really was trying or whatever it is. I don't know. Something. So we have bread was required. So we deal with money to make some moves, make some things happen, bringing them buses, bringing water, food or whatever. Where it was required. And the people needed him to make some moves. So justice could be well served. It was horrible. Because he did something strategic. It was horrible. You saw those pictures, didn't you? Like a third world country. Imagine you see it in person when you go there and you see how that was at that time period. You would have been devastated. You wouldn't have believed that was here in this United States. You wouldn't have believed it if your eyes would have saw it. That was ridiculous. It shouldn't have went like that. So many people lost their lives. Animals, people, babies, everybody. It was humiliating. Imagine you sitting in wet clothes for 3 and 4 or 2 weeks or however long stuff was going on before you could get dry. The same mildew clothes with poop on you or whatever was going on. All kinds of things might have been going on. Ladies that's on their menstrual cycle. I'm going to use all of this. I'm going to throw all this up in here. At the time period, can't get what she need and all that's happening, going all over the place. That was humiliating. It was. Babies need to be changed. No diapers to change them. Or people walking around their babies with nothing on, period, because they don't have nothing to put on them. It was terrible. No milk for the babies. It was terrible just to think about all of the things that you need, you can't get. And you know somebody can help make it happen and they refuse to do it because they not looking at you as special. They not looking at you as worth $1 million plus more. They not looking at you as valuable. They looking down on you because really you're not important. You lower class or whatever. And then they pretty much don't care too much for your city you live in, because the city you live in, they might don't go for gay people, or what all happens there. Okay, so let's just flow. So let's take Lee's first call. Later on, he needed to be catering to the Katrina victims here. Because here he is, this would be him, blank, blank. Here's it, animalistic. So animalistic means fighting, fussing, complaining, dominating. So in his case, he was being combative. He wasn't helping, he was being combative, I feel like, because he should have helped the first go around. He should have just moved right on it. If you got a real bad cut, you're supposed to move right on it. You don't supposed to just let yourself bleed out. Get what I'm saying? It's like he let them bleed out. He needed to work hard on it, but he didn't. On whatever day. He needed to let go of destruction, because that was destructive what he did, not helping the people of Hurricane Katrina, making them suffer like that. They was holding on to a corrupt pain. So we have Smooth Trinket. One of the victims have. So for him, I guess it would be his wedding ring or cross, or maybe one of the people had that. They were saying things in slow motion, eyes watering. Someone was wondering where their parents was. Parents shouldn't walk away. Their parents died. Their parents gone. They lost their parents. They don't know which way their parents are, because water everywhere. They lost their parents. They got sent this way and that way, and some of them just don't know where their parents are. Will I ever know who born me? Will I ever know who my mother is? If it's a baby, the baby is separated from the mother. Who born me? I don't know. It's challenging. That's why we can't make it. That's why we can't make it. Because people putting class, race, and different things, and taking that as more valuable than somebody's life. That's why we can't make it. You see what that cost is, right? Because they're isolated. For coping mechanism, they're isolated, just sitting there suffering, begging for help. Stuck. They was going ahead and fighting. Right? Only you could help. Only you could help this happen in their lives. The president, at the time, ask yourself why. Forcing yourself to cope with the hurt. The people was forcing themselves to cope with the hurt. But you gotta ask yourself why. Did you stick with it? Why did you stay and stick with not helping the people like you should have? Okay? So, you need to dig deep and ask yourself why. You didn't want to settle for less. No, you did settle for less. Because of people dying, that made it be less people. Ask yourself why it was okay to settle for less. That means, ask yourself why it was okay for people to die, to settle for less. We got people looking for their loved ones back then, crying out. I cry for you and know you are mine. They looking for their loved ones, their children, their husbands or whoever. They crying out, they don't know where they at in all of that chaos, mayhem, right? Power to hold on is slipping. They holding on to boats, holding on to houses, holding on to people's hands, all kind of things to survive. They had to accept it. They might have lost a loved one. They don't know where they at. They had to try harder in love or business. But I'm going to turn this around to you. President, you should have tried harder in love and business, or business, to learn how to love people except that you didn't love people like you should have and care for the people, and try harder when it come down to business. Actually, what your job entailed was to protect these people, and you didn't. You settled for less people. That mean letting them just die. Okay? We got X'd out. I'm passionate about life. I don't want nobody to lose their life. I don't care who they are. Even down to somebody on death row. They can just be in jail, and that'll be for them to be in jail. People who are let me bring back this right here. I'm looking at it. Let me bring back this sweet baby laying on the ground. Get a baby. Can you see a baby laying on the ground on a blanket? Little girl eating out the box or whatever this stuff is in bags like a third world country. They wouldn't imagine this would happen. I don't know how long that went on. People not being able to be moved out of there. I think it was over a week. I'm just not sure. It could have been 2 weeks. I just don't remember. I would have to read the actual paper again and see how long it took for anything to even happen. Because I think they didn't have water for 3 actual days. I think they didn't have water for 3 days or more. But then for them to get moved out of New Orleans and just move somewhere else, I don't know how long that took. I would have to look at, like I said, the paper again. Okay. So here we got stop the killing of people. And you saw I just showed you a baby, correct? Look at this. Look what God's saying. I showed you a baby. You saw a baby, didn't you? And you see baby right here, right? Stop the killing of people if you can. Right? Because this is the killing of people. Because really, they could have been saved. So they was allowed to be killed by the elements because they wasn't cared for properly. They wasn't treasured like they should have been. Okay? So let's just go. So here, right here, God said you need to apologize for the way you reacted. The way you treated the people. It's for the president. You wasn't restricted. See, this I supposed to say you was restricted, but you wasn't. So I got to turn it around. This is the second time ever I had to do this card like this. Because it's both sides go with the same person. But I had to do it one other time, but I got to do it with you. I got to change it around. This side for you, and this side for the victims, for the people that was suffering. You need to apologize to all the people that was suffered in Hurricane Katrina. The ones alive and the ones who lost their lives because of your neglect and not moving fast enough to save them. They felt restricted, that they had no way out. You wasn't. You wasn't there. You had the power, but you didn't use it. You used it to delay. So you used the power to delay, not to do what you needed to do to save these people. You was fine with settling for less. That means letting people die. Less than the population. Get what I just said? You need to apologize. Because they were restricted. They had no way out. You was going to do what make you feel good. And what make you feel better. So here we got this card. It was your turn to prove to the people that you were serving that love comes from both ways. You needed to show your love for the people who voted for you. It was time for you to show your love, but you didn't. You're supposed to prove it, but you didn't. You didn't show your love for the people. It's supposed to flow both ways. They vote for you, and you're supposed to make sure they're safe. Do the honorable thing. You're supposed to check the time, made it happen, and got things there to them. And at that time, you felt like you didn't need them to help you be you because you already was in place. So you felt like you didn't need them. You didn't need anything from them. So you let off everything in you and abuse your power as far as these people. You didn't have any raw love right here. You didn't have raw love for the people. You didn't care for these people. But you needed to capture raw love. They was on a battleground. And they wanted you to do a preview to see that they was on a battleground. So we have you wasn't saying okay, but you needed to learn to fight your battles. You wasn't saying okay, but you needed to learn how to fight your battles. Because that was a battle that you needed to fight and give those people what they needed. So you and everybody else, all of us out here watching, including you, watch the people get X'd out by the water, right? By the hurricane. So we're going to make this your card. So we have right here that somebody was talking to you, whoever it is, anybody, people speaking from Hurricane Katrina on the cars or whatever they were saying out to you, whoever it was talking to you, right? And they're going to be genuine with you. We need help or whatever they were saying. Give us water, get us out or whatever they were saying. He, she, or whoever. But they was dealing with you at that time. And you had one of these things going on with you. Unstable, confused, not all there, mentally ill, or something was going on with you. Whatever it was, right? They wanted to deviate from a conquest deal. They wanted to get out of that place at that time. They wanted to clarify with you that choosing them first was the best choice. They wanted out. But you clarified that choosing you first was the best choice. So you felt like you was going to be in control if they get first choice or not. You was going to make the decisions here. So we have right here that the intentions of a maze life with this card. You wasn't going to let them grow into the flower God wanted them to grow into. They was like in a maze at that time. It was just wild down there. Right? You needed to communicate and fight for the love of the people. Because something downtown could help some of these people. Because a lot of these people had, let's say, drowning. Because people was drowning. Look at the card. People was drowning. Look at my card. Drowning in a sea. They wasn't in a sea, but it was enough water to drown them. Get what the card's saying, right? There's drowning in a sea of feelings they couldn't recover from. So if they is actually drowning, get what I'm saying? Downtown, we're going to say New Orleans, right? But actually, a lot of people who survived needed to go to counseling because that was horrific. Because you focusing on money, focusing on money, letting money control you, helping these people. You were staying calm about things while they was going through this torture. And it was hyped up. You was walking a thin line, just calming your pain. But I need to say they was walking a thin line, calming their pain. So we have right here that you lost yourself, but no more. It's okay to let him or her go. That person will always know you love the person. So I got to take it this way. We got family members, husband, wives, children, or whoever, different people. They wind up losing their loved ones through death Or they just don't know which direction they went when they got sent away. Anything like that? You lost yourself, but no more. So we can take this with this card up here. People had to go to counseling or whatever they had to go to because they lost their self. It's like you going out of your mind. You depressed. You messed up in the head. Get what I'm saying? So you got to go to counseling. Mentally messed you up, right? So they lost their self. So they had to get their self back right again. And in some time, it is okay to let him or her go. The person will always know you love the person. Some family member, man or woman they lost, child or whoever. But they had to keep in their mind that their loved one, know that they love the loved one, but they just don't know where they are. So we got people who is barefoot because they ain't had their shoes on. Barefoot with desire. In this storyline, barefoot with desire. They want some kind of care from the president. They want care. Get what I'm saying? They barefoot, no shoes on. Get ready, set them here. They want the president to be here, to get ready and come there or send somebody there or anything. But they also wanted the president to know, I'm here. Right? Well, I'm ready to go as soon as he sends somebody for them. Because a lot of these people needed a cup of love. That means counseling after this ordeal happened. A center of love. And some needed a lawyer. Right? Or some might get a lawyer right now. Right? Don't ask. This is a gay card. You can feel your God mission being gay. So we have that. You can feel your God mission. So we're going to put this with the president. You can feel your God's mission because God's mission would be for you to go and save these people. So maybe you had a problem with people who are gay. You was covering up things with the raincoat, with the sunglasses, not seeing what you needed to see, not getting in your emotions. These people wanted you to validate them. They wanted help from you. So we have right here that you're going to save your energy for the future. The people was marveling at a candlelight love. Because at nighttime, every time nighttime came, they probably was afraid. So maybe eventually they got some kind of candles or flashlights, I don't know, for at night when the National Guards came. Maybe, or maybe not. Or they just wanted some kind of love from the president, some kind of lights or whatever, to show some love to him. For sure, for sure. They wanted to be confident in it that the president going to send something for them. Okay, we're dealing with the jobs. Nobody had no jobs at the time, or they couldn't get to work, and all kind of stuff was happening. So it don't have to be a Tuesday, right? The people there wanted the president to come get them. Come get them. Make some moves to help us. Do your job. He would have been a foreigner in the beautiful state, in their state, right? Because they was in a beautiful state in New Orleans, right? He part of a social club, right? Secret society, a group of people, right? He is the president, right? They wanted equal and fair from him. But he wanted equal and fair, whatever he think is equal and fair. So he wasn't looking at their worth or looking at them as worthy, the people from New Orleans, right? I'm so passionate about that right there because that really did a lot to me and my family at that time, and a lot of people. The Hurricane Katrina and them people wanting help like that, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was. I just gave the cat out. I just gave a kitty outside. The kitty came on my porch and was sitting there looking at me like, oh, he wants something, right? They say you don't supposed to give nothing to a stray cat. I don't care what nobody tell me. Nobody gonna be telling me what to give to nobody. If If I'm hungry, I want somebody to give me something. So I don't want nobody telling me you shouldn't give. I gave the kitty that piece of lunch meat out there. Those people wanted water. They wanted food, but number one, they needed some kind of water. Number one. It's just a thing of not getting basic things you usually get. Like water. And you got to wait on some man somewhere to decide if he going to send it or not. He got all the power. Because God needs a vessel, people. God needs somebody who's going to obey people. A vessel. Somebody down here that's willing to do what God wants done. That's how God get things accomplished. If it's in the physical. If God wants somebody to give you some money, the person got to be obedient to what God's saying in the person's mind and give you the money. He fought me. She did it. So I'm going to say he. I'm going to say he. Right? The president. I'm going to take that she off and make he did it. He fought me. I'm going to say he fought the people there as far as being, I'm going to say confiant. Is that the word? I don't know. My mind here, confiant. I don't know. Should that the word? I don't know. I'm hearing that word. I'm hearing that word out of nowhere. But he was being, he wasn't acting like he should have acted and moved on and fast like he should have. I don't know. That's a word came on my mind, but he's fighting them on it. And that means that he wasn't giving in. The people needed help and he kept delaying. You know what that means? Okay, so we have right here that he was unhealthy at the time. And people was keeping their mouth shut about him. He was unhealthy. He was unhealthy at the time because those people needed help and he wasn't doing his job. So that made him unhealthy. He needed to get motivated because he got the information. He probably got it before any of you found out about it. He was choosy about going to another state, New Orleans, okay? People was coping and they had the defeat of failing. Got number 18, number 1, number 81. The people was moving to rougher matters. But he also was going to be moving to rougher matters if he didn't make a move and help these people. The people was wallowing in their pain, not him. Because they were simply the best. But he thought he was the best because he was the president, right? Temperatures was rising with all those people. And temperatures was rising as far as the water. Because you know the water get hot. Or whatever was going on, got cold or whatever happened with the water. And that makes all kind of odors and all kind of disease and all kind of stuff be happening. Or it just was hot, period. Where the people hot, people getting upset, they hot, they're overheated, all kind of stuff happening. Your life is yours, don't force it on me. So he is acting a certain kind of way because maybe he don't like the idea of those people, how those people is there. And they keep coming back to stuff like that. Maybe he don't like people who gay. Because this is a card where your life is your own, don't force it on me. Get what I just said? Or he felt more feeling like, well, that's their problem. Don't force it on him. He don't want to be bothered with that. That's your problem. That's you all's problem. Or don't force it on me as far as the people gay. And he got a problem with people like that. But God says right here for him, he needed to call and make some kind of move. Because it was time for him to grow up. Okay? Because it was some traveling at night, so maybe some kind of way he sent somebody at night or something happened at night where some movement was happening at night to try to get there. Anything like that. Let's just see. I'm trying to make it end. So it could be pleasant times because he needed to get on his mission. And we got the red right here. Right? Because he had the brakes on things. He wasn't doing nothing. Look at that. Look at that red right there. He needs to go do his mission, right? For pleasant times. Get what the card says. Because this is to meet new people and personalities. He need to get on his mission and go meet new people and personalities. And that is those people who was waiting for him. What they wanted, they was chewing on and wanting luxurious. They wanted water, they wanted support, they wanted food, they wanted clothing, they wanted help, they wanted to get out of there and get in a better spot. Luxurious. Get what I'm saying? But in New Orleans, maybe they dressed pretty and all kind of stuff, so they was like luxurious down there. They look pretty and all as far as the clothing that some of them I see wear when I look at stuff from there. They would get a president at that time a penny for his thoughts because they had heartfelt tears. But did he have any tears for them? I don't think so. Black is beautiful. This is a racist card. So it's a lot of black people at that time died. So it's people that's non-black we know that was there, but majority of them I saw was black that I kept seeing on the screen, right? So we got music. They like music in New Orleans. They like having fun. But black is beautiful. They was black and they were beautiful, right? But this is a racist card. So it was some kind of racism going on a little bit with the president. Because he was picking and choosing. He was covering up stuff, covering up the problems that he needed to get moving and make some stuff happen. So it made the people clap back and say whatever he had to say, from the people there to the people out here like us. Because he is no cleaner than those people or none of us. Follow me. Covering up would not work for him. He need to make something happen, right? Because he was double-minded right here, right? Like the Gemini sign, Two-Faced, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Follow me? So we have right here, the people wanted to get away from that rinky-dink place. Get what I'm saying? They wanted to get out of the situation they was in that water, in that dirt, no food, no clothing, no water. They wanted to get out. Get what it just said, what this card's saying, right? In this storyline. They want to sail away from their problems. Get what I just said? They want to sail away from their problems. There was enough water in the streets for them to actually be sitting on something and it makes them sail away. And that's a fact. They could have got on something and it would have made them float down just like they was on an actual boat. And that's a fact. And some of them was. They wanted to laugh at all of the oldies all together, but a lot of people wasn't able to because they lost their loved ones, and some of them got sent away and they don't even know where they are. So at the time, the president had the president's ears closed, right? To making movements fast. That was what you call urgent. It's just like if I see in here that my house is on fire any kind of way, in that room or wherever, if I see any kind of fire, I'm going to move on it. I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, well, let it get to this next room. I'm looking at 3 rooms right here. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I see the fire over there. I see it over there at my bathroom. The flames coming up and all. I'm just going to sit here and say, well, let it get to my second room and get all the way to the edge of my second room till it come in to where I'm at. Then I'll make a move to call the fire department. That's how this was treated. People begging, asking, or what all was going on. People on the outside, people who was there for help, and it was being ignored. Talking about money. So we got a mastermind, and a mastermind will have to be the president because he's the man in charge. Because there's a mastermind card in my hand, I see it. Created a shockwave for the people. He's keeping his ears closed to what they were saying. I admit it. I did it. You was right. He was keeping his ears closed, and he got to admit that the people was right. You should have moved on it. You was keeping your ears closed to anybody telling you they need help or how desperate a situation this was. You just kept your ears closed to it. You was walking all over the people, gathering up information, whatever information you needed to collect up about anybody there or whatever it was, but you was walking all over them like they wasn't nobody. So we got number 5, God's number, grace. God was telling you to make some moves, but you wouldn't. God was giving those people grace. You're a mastermind right here. You created a shockwave in these people's lives. The mastermind card is when you set something up from that first card to my last card to the last dot. That's the mastermind. You decided what you were going to do and what you was going to do, when you was going to do it, how you was going to do it, and that's what you did. You was a mastermind. So they suffered for how many days without water or whatever because of you, because you didn't make the moves because you planned how you was going to move and you wasn't going to move. And all of us got to make moves when we're doing certain things. Like we go to work, we got to plan, we got to get our car fed, get our car, whatever. So all of us make moves and things that we do on an everyday basis with stuff we have to do. But this wasn't nothing to play around with. And you didn't take this like you should have. Because you was fine with people losing their lives up here, if that's the card. You was fine with that. You was fine with that. Oh no, this ain't that, because this is another set of cards. You know what I'm saying? You was fine with people. You was settling for less. In this storyline, settling for less means settling for less population. Get what I'm saying? Okay, so let's just flow. I'm trying to end this board. You was going to be the chairperson, only in control, because you felt like you was the head. You weren't going to go in fast like a sailor, but you should have went in fast like a sailor and been a chairperson for these people because you were supposed to have been a president. So we had right here that I just talked about smoke, and look what that, you heard me talk about fire, and look what comes out, right? Those pros and cons, right? But you was going to allow it to be smoke. You was going to allow. So we ain't dealing with like a fire. We dealing with all of that water and all that mess happening. So you allowed that. It was pros and cons. You was telling them people, letting them people know, I'm not here for you. When you needed to just get on the bus and be there for the people. Or send somebody there. Because it's a bus card. You see what it say, right? Get on the bus. President. You supposed to told the people, I'm going to get on a bus. New Orleans. I'm here for you. Because I'm your president. Get what I just said? So we got this card that fell. You are mine. Never forget that. While you coming for me. So I'm going to turn it around because these are love cards. You are mine. So I'm going to say, I'm going to talk for the people. You're our president. Are you coming to help us? I got to turn the card around. You needed to work on your problems, whatever problems you had that stopped you from helping these people at the appropriate time. Because you had some kind of problems going on or whatever was going on with yourself. But that wasn't the timing, and it wasn't the place, because they had nothing to do with your problems. Not here. Where they were not your problem. Because we got right here abuse. Abuse proved that it was fake love. You didn't have love for New Orleans. Period. That mean everybody in it. It was fake love. You didn't have love for that city. That's why it went like that. Everything was stacking up. Get what the card's saying. People becoming unhinged, upset. This is an allegation card and all kind of charges card, but I got to turn it around. People was becoming unboxed, unhinged, upset. Stuff was being piled up. Furniture. Water was coming up. Houses was lifting up off of the ground. All kind of stuff was happening. It was time to move on for the people, but they couldn't move on. They didn't have transportation. Why? Because you had a bus. You could have sent a bus for them. You could have sent the bus. See the bus right here? Where they could get on the bus, right? But you didn't know to get on the bus. I mean, in time it happened. But it was time for them to move on. But you was taking them for a joke. So to taking it for a joke just simply mean you want to look at, well, it ain't that serious. It ain't that bad. You know how people are. Because you was filling your time wherever you was, Washington at the time. So we got a number 25, number 52. I don't know what your age was at the time. Okay. So we have, my lawyer said, so somebody from during that time is going to do some kind of sewing, because I done saw 3 cards that look like that. Or they did sue. They did something. Somebody got a lawyer out of a bunch of people about this situation. Somebody, because I saw 3 cards that represent that. My lawyer said, you got to hear what God says you are. So you supposed to have been a leader. You was in position to be a leader. And nobody needs a leader who don't want to protect and serve and help. What do you need the person for? You don't need to be following somebody who's going to lead you down the wrong path. You supposed to have been making arrangements to help get them people out of that camp, out of that place they was in. And that would have been New Orleans at the time with the chaos. You wasn't seeing their potential to see that they had lots of life to live. You wasn't seeing that for them, right? See, whatever this one is. Deep. You didn't see that God had a bigger purpose for those people there. You didn't see that. God knew they did, but you didn't see it though. They was being ready to be guided to their path, and that would be from out of the water, out of that city or whatever, but they needed you to help them. They needed you to send a bus and get them from there. You had whatever problems you was working on that's separate from their stuff, but you had that all tangled up with their stuff, so they was getting mistreated. Okay, so I'm trying to end it. We dealt with the skyscraper, something way up. Let's flow. Express all that is needed. The people there was going to express all that was needed. Sky high. People were standing all on top of roofs, so they were sky high to express to you they needed help. Okay, so stitching and sugarcoating. Some kind of stitching and sugarcoating. So maybe later on you was trying to stitch and sugarcoat things, right? Because this is a gun carpet, I'm changing it around. People was grossed out, right? Even people out here looking, and the people there definitely. Because when you didn't help them immediately and get them the help they needed, you killed their emotions, you stripped them, you tore them to shreds, you wounded them in all kind of ways when you didn't take your shot to help them. You took a shot to wound them because you didn't really make the moves you should have made. Because it was in plain sight. And God told you don't jeopardize it. And even the people or whoever told you, but you did. So somebody was gay since childhood. So you might got a problem with people like that. I keep saying because it keep coming out. Right? And people, somebody there might be promiscuous and you don't like that type of stuff. So you didn't want to help there or something. Feel you got a problem with people who not straight. Right? And you kind of, or maybe since childhood, what is it, New Orleans, maybe they the kind of place where people be like that from childhood. I don't know. Okay? Maybe some is promiscuous. That you feel need to take care of themselves or whatever thoughts you have on it because of somebody. And they keep coming back to that because you might have a problem with people like that. But I don't care if you got a problem with people like that or not. You should have helped them. They don't have nothing to do. What they do with their life don't have nothing to do with you. You can't tell them what they can be like or who they can live in life. Your job is to be the president. If they voted for you, you're supposed to help them. That's what you're supposed to have done. But you did everything but that. A lot of them people shouldn't have lost their lives. I don't know if anybody ever talked about that. A lot of them people shouldn't have lost their lives at all. God talking about it right now. You end up on my channel, when you end up on this channel, God wants to give you a spiritual spanking. When you end up on this channel, God wants some spiritual justice. When you end up on this channel, God don't put you on this channel just for you to be on this channel. You're on here for a reason. Truth gonna come out of a story otherwise. And the truth of a story is you got a problem with New Orleans. You had a problem with that city, people who gay and all that type of stuff. People was testing you to see if you was going to have beautiful feelings and come and help them, but you delayed that stuff, right? Freedom, look at this thing right here. Freedom was calling, but will you answer freedom? Because them people wanted to be free, but will you answer these people? Freedom was calling you. The people was calling for freedom, but would you answer, right? Would you seek what you're looking for? And what you should have been looking for was these people who was trying to get freedom, who was testing you to see if you was going to come and save them. Send somebody or whatever. They was coupled off with Satan. So at that time, you was acting like Satan at the time. They just wanted peace from you. Because you didn't care nothing about them. So you had a race problem, seem like, and you got a problem with people who homosexual looking like here. You the only one. You the man in charge. Nobody else seem like. You can't tell people who to be with, though. You shouldn't be the president if you got a whole lot of hang-ups. You can't and decide you're going to go against people because of who they are and who they like or whatever. You can't do that. You can't decide on people off of their race and say, well, because they black this and that, or because they whatever they this and that. No, it don't work like that. You're going to be the president, you be the president for all people. And everybody should be treated fairly. You had a lot of demons, God says right here. And God knew you inside and out. It was a mystery to all that you had a lot of demons. You back to back with Satan right here. That's the truth out of the story. You see it, don't you? Okay, hopefully this is going to end it. Universe, you know all about it. You know all about it, universe. You know all about it. So that really did me in back then. Ain't no joke. That did me in back then. Me and my family and a lot of people was heard about that thing. It was a pandemic. The pandemic was people not having what they needed. Get my drift. Water. Day after day after day after day. Night after night. Not having water, food, diapers for their kids, clean underclothes, dry underclothes, or whatever was going on with everybody. And then they halfway had to beg, seemed like, to go in the pastor's church. And that dome. Wasn't it the dome that time? Wasn't it the dome? Because he didn't want homeless people up in his dome, in his church. Don't take me there. I don't want to hear nothing about no pastor. Right? Don't tell me you doing God's work and you won't let God's people in. Don't tell me nothing about you doing God's work. Back your ways of thinking. You had some kind of racist ways about you. And those people got to see it at that time because a lot of them people was black. Right? Two hearts that beat to find each other. You wasn't letting your heart beat with these people to find them. I miss you. See, they was missing you and wanting help from you because you was right then, besides God, you was their savior. Get my drift. In the physical down here. They wanted you to say you loved them, you liked them enough to help them. But you was guilty of not saying that, right? Doll up for a date, I'm yours, you're mine. They wanted you to take out time some kind of way, get your clothes on or whatever, make some kind of decision, go into work, whatever you had to do, dress up, come there, whatever they wanted you to do. To act like you cared about them. Because I got to turn the love cards around for you to show love for these people. You need to let spirit in, God in, boom. So they wanted you to say that you obligate yourself to them, to help them. But you took a right turn and you did them wrong because you didn't move like you needed to move to help them. Courting is wonderful. In this storyline, I gotta say, helping them and meeting them was wonderful. But you wanted to just be single and free. You didn't want to be bothered with them people. So here we got a bunch of money because it was a money problem at that time period. Just a scheme card. So let's just flow. Money deal card, scheme card. So some kind of way you needed to get money from what is called, start with that F, right? I forgot the name. I think it start with an F though. I don't want to say it wrong. So it start with an F. You need to get money from somewhere, whatever was going on. Right? Money, whatever amount. It don't have to be this amount. You needed to tell whoever it is you wanted out, or of this money deal, or you pretty much was trying to leave these people out of the money deal. Get what I just said? You didn't want to spend money on them. You didn't want to cheat on their fortune. You didn't want to put money in their city. That's what it's looking like here. You didn't want to show that you can help build their future and keep their city intact. God said you owe an insane apology because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. Now's the time you need to apologize because you was wrong. 21, number 12. Number 2, number 3. Somebody, you need to filter your ways with somebody who was uniquer. Somebody, you and somebody get along. You one of the same. You and somebody is one of the same. Who you need to filter your ways with. So you might have been a fuss with somebody. I don't know. Better. You are one and the same though. You just are like whoever you are. Whoever it is. So somebody in the spirit. Back then somebody might have died. Somebody might have died back then, or they died now. They not alive right now. It might be in the present with this card, or it's back then. One in the, okay, so we have you want to stay in your kingship and stay on your throne, and you felt you demanded respect, but all of these people there demanded respect from you. They wanted you to fill their cup, right? They wanted help. That's what that means. He mentioned them coming. So they wanted you to come, or they heard that you was going to send some people there. He mentioned them coming. So he could be you on this card that somebody was coming. National Guard or somebody was coming. I don't know. Let's flow. Number 16, number 15, number 1, number 5. So we have, they felt like you was toying with them and walking away from them. So you was going to accept an address, a house number, whatever it is, or some kind of way they wanted to know the address to your house number. I guess so. Maybe they can mail a letter, send a letter, or whatever. Or people out here was going to mail you something, send you something, or whatever was going to be going on. Because time was going by TikTok. Wondering how sweet and kind people are and soft people are. Time going by. If somebody could send you something, they would have sent you something because time was going by. Because you was treating them like there's nothing. And they was being treated harshly. Because you wasn't doing what you needed to do in the right time period. You was going to move away from anything that annoyed you in a situation, and this annoyed you. But they wanted to move away from what annoyed them, being in all of that chaos, dirt, filth, and everything else annoyed them. When they start to feel the real them was going to come out. Everybody was acting like the real self. They're letting everything out. But you was acting like your true self. Showing you didn't care nothing about them. But you was the president at the time, but you didn't care about the people you served. You ran from the love of caring for these people. They say don't run from the love. You ran from the love. You ran from the care for the city. Get my drift? You didn't have heartfelt desire for the city, for nobody in it. But they had heartfelt desire for you because they needed you to help them. They needed help. You needed to face it clean and straight, or they was, because you looked at them as a plaything, or they looked at you as you taking them as a plaything, right? Because you wasn't doing what you're supposed to do. I keep saying it. So what? It was flattering. You thought about what you was hearing, but you still wasn't moving fast on it like you should have. So we have right here, this is a cop card, a leader card, a cop card, and a boss card. Any leader, boss, or cop. Or a white person card. So we got right here, pickpocket. If it's the cops, they patting you down. So some of those people there was patted down maybe by the cops, because I think eventually cops came. I'm not sure. I really think they did eventually, because it was people were stealing and doing different things or fighting or whatever. So I think cops actually came. So they might have got patted down by the cops, because it was robbery, stealing, maybe rapes, all kinds of things might have been happening because it was dark, no lights at times. So you was a leader. They didn't want no so what's out of you. They didn't want to hear no small talk. They want to know, what are you going to do to help us? Okay, so here is the insurance card. This a card that makes sure that something's going to be. They wanted to make sure. They ain't want no flattery out of you. They don't want no flattery, and so what? You the leader. They want to know, are you going to do whatever it is you're going to do? Is they going to be here? Are you bringing the water, the food, the National Guards, whatever it is, the buses, whatever? They want to know. They don't want to hear nothing else. They want insurance. Show me you're going to do what you're going to do. You're going to say. You say you're going to do it, show me. I want insurance that you're going to do it. You're going to make it happen. Because we have right here that he was trying to avoid being strip search. And strip search is the taking of money and the taking off of clothes. So we got people there that was getting robbed by others. People there who was getting raped by others. Some of their clothes might have been taken by others and put on another person. Or we just got the president that was trying to avoid them strip searching, and that means taking the money. Right? And taking of the money just simply mean putting a lot of money in New Orleans. Get what I'm saying? Trying to hold back on money. Anything like that. Okay, here we have right here, where's yours? Where's your money? Stop it right now. So that goes with somebody maybe fighting, fussing, trying to rob somebody, trying to take somebody's money, take somebody's shoes, clothes, food, or whatever. During that time period, somebody there. So we got the pastor. I didn't say the pastor. The president, because that's the only person who could control back then, as far as I know of. It was time for him to come clean and face these people on TV, or however he had to face these people face to face and work this for success and make things happen, make it successful, give them what they need, give them their buses, food, clothing, water, or whatever it is they needed. Torture me not, president, because they went through torture, because he was a person who could control. It's just like if I was given something and I'm the only person who can make it happen for people, and they got to rely on me, and I decide, well, I ain't going to do it. Or I decide I'm going to do it. You got somebody who in control, who won't take charge and do what they're supposed to do. They went through torture, bottom line. To love, he didn't love. Get what I'm saying? He didn't love at that time. To love is to feel another's heart and emotions at that time, right? He didn't. Eliminate that one. Okay. He was nervous around a pyramid of people, a group of people, or we got somebody who was actually there who was nervous around groups of people feeling uncomfortable. Because these people wanted the president to pick door one, love. Come help us. Show you care about us, the people who voted for you. The president is at maybe I'll help you, maybe I won't type of attitude right here. Take me out to dinner and a play. Okay, so we're going to turn this around. They want some pleasantness. They want to eat. They want to get in some kind of position where they can be happy again. Or maybe at that time, the president was going to dinner or play himself, right? Living a good life, right? They care about the president, but they feel like they was being used by the president. I care about you, but not that much to be used to vote for you, and then you treat me like scum. They wanted him to act in the ways he wanted to be treated. Would you want to be treated like that? And you be in that kind of condition and don't help and don't get any help? Would you like that? Hear the card? Act in the ways you want to be treated, right? Talent, skills, experiences. He had talent, skills, experiences. He had the authority to make some moves be made to help these people. It was going to cost him because he didn't move when he supposed that move, and a lot of people lost their lives and things happened with people because he didn't move like he should have swiftly. Can we do it now? The people wanted him to do it now, right? Or will he do it now? But it was going to cost him if he didn't do it now. But then he is looking at the cost of things, focusing on some cost. It's going to cost him. Because these people, look at this, these people needed him to feed them, right? They need water, food, and everything else to get them some buses to get out of Dodge, to get from there, get my drift. They're getting upset. All kind of things was happening there because after a while, you can't help but get upset. They wanted to be secure with this card, and they wanted him to be sincere about coming and helping them, right? So we have no more bowing down to him. They didn't want to bow down no more. They felt like he's treating them like an animal or less than by not giving them food, shelter, and everything else they needed. Here's this card. I forgot what lonely meant. Some kind of way different ones got lonely because they lost their loved ones. And they got numb. Get what I just said? They got numb. It's never too much sugar when it comes in the form of romance. So we might hear some people who lost their husbands, wives, or whoever. It don't seem like that's the end card. So this going a long way a little bit with Katrina, but that's okay. Let me give a little bit more. I need an end card. God wants it addressed because it never was addressed. I guess God wanted it addressed. Okay, one more. Oh my goodness, there's a lot. Hopefully this is it. Oh my goodness, God got a lot to say. Out to you, President. God got a lot to say to you, President. Okay, because you on this channel. You on this channel right here. And this channel is no joke. It's a God channel. It was showtime. And life was like a movie for those people. But life was like a movie for you to move, but you didn't make nothing happen because they wanted you to be game and be in. Are you in to help us? Are you game? You needed to say, I'm game, I'm in. I'm on this thing because life was like a movie for these people. But no, you thought like, oh, just wait. You know, you played around. These people needed you like a magnet. They wanted you to help them be the chain. Get what I'm saying? They just wanted you because you're the president and you could have some pull. But they needed you so you can be the chain to get them out of this mess that they was in. So we get right here something that might piss you off or might have pissed you off back then or pissed somebody else off. And it probably was a lot of people got pissed off on any kind of social media platform or whatever it might have been, just finding out about this and seeing this. It was terrible. I'm trying to end this though. Let's just say. Let's see if I can end it. Okay, universe. We got faces people. It's people that think that people ain't worthy. It's people that think people is not worthy, and that's the bottom line. There's people like that out here. They think people ain't worthy. People got to stop thinking they better than anybody else, because you ain't better than nobody. I don't care if you're the Duchess of York or whatever they call it, or you Duchess or somewhere. I don't care who you think you are. As long as you got arms and hands and feet and everything else like anybody else walking, you know better than nobody else. People need to stop thinking they better than people. I don't care what title you hold. You're a workhorse, right? But teaching children wasn't your path, because you didn't teach children how to love, right? Because you didn't show love to them. Stalking had to end. So the stalking would be, in this storyline, would be people constantly coming your way trying to get you to help in their dilemma, right? It was coming all kind of ways. People calling, writing, or whatever they was doing, emailing, or whatever they might have been doing. Getting there on time because something was far away. It was far away, right? So maybe you was going to go there because they're looking at you as their good fortune. Are you my good fortune president to help me, to help us? Because they had unstoppable energy and they was trying to keep their cool there, dealing with the situation. And I wish you know all about it. They was feeling protected some kind of way that maybe the president, you would help them, but it was a book of lies. You put them on hold for a long time. So we have right here that they was trying, it says that you can't find it. They was trying to find help. Don't let what you seek ruin your life. And what they was seeking was for some help. And it was their lives was getting ruined because that's what happened. They was extending pillow talk. Or they wanted you to extend pillow talk. That mean kindness. Come talk nice to me. Right? You was wondering how long it was going to be with a female. Maybe your wife at the time. I don't know. Maybe she was going with you to travel. I just don't know right there. Or maybe it was a lady there some kind of way that was dying. It could have been a lady there dying at the time, and the people there was trying to get you to come or send some help so they can get some help for the lady. I don't know. So we have right here, it is wondering if they could trust you. And at that time, no. Because we got more than one card name, right? So if it was not you or somebody, some man, whoever it is, I don't know. It wasn't you. It might have been another man. So we have cry sometimes just good for the heart. These people was crying at times. There's nothing else they could do. Because something could happen on whatever day. Sunday, Thursday, or whatever day. They just was waiting. There's nothing they could do. So we got a lot of money. So we have a lot of money. Had to lay down next to him for a lot of money, or her. So let's just turn this card around because these romantic cards. Let me throw. So the president got a lot of money. So the president was going to be bringing them money, sending them money. Not to the people, but to the different places to get stuff for the people. So laying down beside you. Laying down beside the person. So I'm going to say that these people, they had to lay down beside any and everybody at that place. Or in that church building. Okay, we got somebody copping and somebody downing. So I'm going to take it away from drugs because I don't see a bunch of drug cards coming. So I'm going to say the people was begging some kind of way and asking, right? So we're going to put that with copping for water, or buses, for whatever. And they might have been being downed somewhat, talked down to or whatever. Because you needed to have consideration for the masses. And that means all of the people, not just who you wanted to treat good or whatever. You need to have the masses in your mind, right? Because you was tangled up with some G's. That mean everybody is hooked to the president. But if we put it with the people, the people would be the G's. You're going to be tangled up with them, or an environment of them that want help. Follow me? Because something was charged up to the account that was out of control, or you didn't want it to be charged up and out of control because you was focusing on money. Right? I think it's called FEMA. Is it FEMA? It's coming to me. Is it called FEMA, Lord? that's jumping out. I think it's called FEMA. If it's not FEMA, I don't know. It starts with an F though. But anyway, they wanted help to come. I hit myself in the eye by mistake. Goodness gracious. Whew. They wanted help to come in minutes. They wanted it to come. Dealing with something called usable. But you was dedicated to the wall. Seemingly. These people were special. But you was dedicated to the wall. And your wall needed to get chopped down. A wall is anything that needed to get chopped down that stop you from doing something that need to be done. If somebody on drugs, that's their wall. If somebody is a drunk, that's their wall. Whatever it is, it's something. If you got a bad man that's beating on you, that's your wall. You got to chop the wall down. So you had a wall that was stopping you from going to help these people. And that is, you didn't want to spend a bunch of money on that city and on those people in general. Because it seemed like you looked at them as lower class or whatever's going on here. Don't let others put their burden. You weren't going to let them put their burdens on you. So let's just flow a little bit. You might know somebody in New Orleans. I don't know. You looked at the city, maybe, I'm going to say it, you looked at the city as an X. You didn't care about that city. You didn't care about that city. My ex cares. I got to turn it around because it's not a love story gone. So I feel like you didn't care about that city. So I don't know why you don't care about it, but some kind of way you don't care about it. Maybe because people is gay there. Like you got a problem with people gay or something. I don't care if you do or not. They don't have nothing to do with helping people. You're in control of what people want to do in their life. So we got a woman who you thought was pretty, maybe your wife, right? So let's just say, you need to get back to what God, did for you with the people. No, I'm going to put this with the people. All of the people there wanted to get back to what God intended them to be in life. And they wanted to stop letting the world talk for them and start talking for themselves. And they're talking for themselves, talking out to you for help. But you're looking at things as, so what? Just cover that emotion, people. They wanted to bring back tomorrow. But they wanted to know if you had sticking power. Or do you have sticking power to help us? To make us bring back tomorrow? To make us be able to have our lives again. Get what I'm saying? They can't have that life like it used to be. Because a lot of things got destroyed. But at least they can start living again. Have another house somewhere. Just build again. Can you make that happen? Because they had to beware of cheaters. Right? And make sure you just was focused on them. Helping them. Now the cheaters in this storyline would be cheaters as far as money. Right? Or cheating them out of a better life. Right? Because money seemed to have been a problem over here, right? Senseless to find my mother. Somebody lost their mother in this situation. So we have somebody, pill drop effect. Somebody had to go on treatment because of this situation. Somebody got on drugs or whatever was going on here. So right now, they wanted to get on their path, but they needed you to help them. Back then, they was devastated to people because I gotta go with more than one person because there's a lot of people. So you did something by a certain date whenever you did whatever move you made. So we have, it's obvious that somebody knows something. You and whoever else know something as far as this situation back then. Had flip words. You was gonna be free to make your own choice if you was gonna respond fast or not, or swiftly. Why do you allow others to dictate your religion or have rules over you? So for the people, they allowed you to dictate and have rules over them because you're the president. And it caused it to be like this, where they didn't get the help they needed. Because they voted for you. We got money right here. And you got to stop being sneaky about money, because everything was talking about money at the time. I guess that's why it was being held up and all kind of stuff was going on here. The people didn't want to be the hermit because they was being a hermit. They was in the dark, they was in the dirt, they was in all kind of stuff was going on. But you was shining. You weren't going to keep them hidden while you shine. You got to think of what you have forgotten, and you need to change and seek the people and also you. Because daily life made people rethink. That made people rethink in their daily life when that occurred. It made them rethink. When you voting, you got to make sure whoever you voting for is somebody who got your back. They wanted a peace treaty. They wanted help. But you had cold feet about helping them. So this is a door, just a door frame card. So I'm going to say, you put them on the door frame. You put them on the door rack. Like you put your winter coat. Oh, I'll come over there and help you. Oh, or maybe I won't. Or maybe I will. So you kind of was doing whatever stuff you was doing, and you was just putting it to the side. You was doing whatever you was doing with your work, and you was putting that on the side like it wasn't even important. And then doing whatever you was doing, then you'll go back to it. You wasn't treating it as the priority like it should have been. That ain't an end card. I need an end card. I need an end card or the end of it. Okay. Okay, the puppy making his presence known. I hear the pup. Okay, let me hurry up and finish because I don't want that puppy barking in the whole storyline. Give me an end card. People wanted to be secure. You needed to just say what you needed to say to help them. You needed to work enough to make it happen where they could be secure. There's one that if they can't even believe you because you was hesitating so bad. They made a gesture because it was buffoonery. And the people outside of that place too, because it was racial abuse and it was hyped up. It was racial, right? They wanted you to welcome in a flow of love, a fresh emotion, because them people were suffering there. You was vengeful. You was there, you was vengeful. You was wherever you was at, but you was vengeful because you was going to do what you wanted to do. And you had whatever feelings you had about that city. People wanted to get out, right? But it was hard for them to get out. Their peace was being ran up. But you felt like the money was going to be ran up if you give too much there. So there's crying out at their house, outside their house, on top of their house, or anything like that. But you might have been crying out at the White House because you felt like stuff was being ran up. But so what? That's what the money for. To spend. Not to go to plays and have dinner, right? I am not selfish because I want a whole man. So people are not selfish because they want their president to do the right thing. You had to be considerate of the people that voted for you. They would be considered your partners, right? So I'm trying to end it. You hooked yourself on and ran from your problems. You hooked yourself on to being a president, but your problems is anything that people need and all, making sure it happen. If, help whatever it is in whatever situation. It is easy to leave things to others and escape. So these people was leaving it up to you to help them, right? They're trying to escape, but they're leaving it up to you to help them. But you was leaving it to other people and just escape this situation, right? They're letting you make the decisions and all, and thinking you're going to do whatever it is, but you was delaying things terrible. They pinpointed a problem with you because they wanted equal and fair, because you wasn't equal and fair. You need to respect these people to lessen their pain, not yours, because you ain't have any pain. You put them through torment because it was flimsy the way you treated that situation. With Katrina, Life Journey was calling for them to fight it because you're salary driven, wanting about money during that time period. Let me just see if I can end it. I'm trying to end it. Okay, let's see, universe. I'm trying to end it, universe. I'm trying to end it, universe. Okay, you went on a kitty cat mission. Sneaky, underhanded, or something like that, and you aimed for it. whatever it was, right? You took them as joke worthy because it was a bunch of willing liars that was hooked on some kind of way. You might have twins. You might have boy children, girl children, or a set of twins, or you had partners as far as who was willing to lie with you, or what was going on here. Okay, a time was mentioned and checked. Okay, why let your ex dictate? So some kind of way you wasn't gonna let somebody dictate something to you, so you became unavailable. Somebody might have been telling you whatever needed to be done, and you weren't gonna let the person dictate. So your ex would be somebody who ex. So you as a president, so maybe it was your father, because your father was a president before you, so he might be considered your ex. He was the ex-president, right? Or if it wasn't your father, whoever, right? Somebody. You're just going to make your own decisions, right? You're just coping with a job that you kind of was tired of. At that time period, you was tired of it. Pool time, quaint time, you wanted relaxation time. Temporarily, you abuse your power though, because you ain't treat the people right. You had to make the changes necessary, God says, to help these people. But you wanted to play ball with your life in the best ways. You just wanted some pool time to sit down and just relax. You was tired of your job at the time. But you still got to do your job while you're at it. When people at work, you still got to do your job. If you're tired, if you're sick or whatever, or you need to walk out of it or quit it. You got to do one or the other. You can't just be on your job and not do your job. So let's just say, I'm trying to end it. Okay, I'm hungry. People was hungry. I'm not hungry as what they was, so I don't even know the definition of hungry compared to them people. Those people was hungry. I'm saying I'm hungry, but if I'm saying I'm hungry, those people was triple hungry. I don't know what hungry feel like compared to them people there, what they went through, and that's no lie. None of us did, because we wasn't there. We wasn't there. We don't know how that was. We had never know unless we experience it. Ain't no book's going to tell you nothing. It's all about experience. Okay, I need this to be the end. Let me just make it the end. I gotta make it the end. Let's see, is it an end card? I can make it the end. Let me just look and see if I can make it an end card. If I can see an end card. Be the God in you. Take the reins and run with it. Let's see if I can make an end card. Begin and go forward. Bear with me for a minute. Try to see if I can make an end card. Genius. Not like a genius. Yes, go with your path. I'm gonna make that for the people. Right? Heal. Okay, that works. This gonna be the end cards. Let's look. Let's just see. They're gonna be the end cards. I'm trying to end it. I took it longer than what I thought, but it's worth it. Because Hurricane Katrina, that situation did me in. Boy, I wish I could have went through my TV and helped on my soul. It just did something to me and my family and a lot of people. The people wanted to be free from a commitment of what? Being stuck there in that situation. Wait a minute, bear with me for a minute. Bear with me. Yeah. So we have right here that they had to beware the hot spots and be alert because of the water. They had to make sure they got in certain spots or stayed away from certain areas because they could drown or whatever was going on. Things was everywhere. Dead people in the water, dead animals, or all kind of stuff was happening. Or once they was in that dome being raped or being stolen from or being beat up or whatever. So they had to watch hot spots. They had to do all kind of stuff to survive. Okay, so they was looking at what was ahead. So they was wondering was the president at that time a go-getter, somebody who was going to help them. Follow me? But he is looking at the city or those people as loose, some kind of way. Because that's a loose card, a easy walk over, what we're going to call it. He looked at them as he can walk all over them. He took them as easy. He took them as loose, or whatever you want to call it. That city there. Because that city always have a joyous occasion. They had joyous occasions there. But they would have brought about a joyous occasion if he would have brought about a joyous occasion if he would have went soon as possible to save them. And that's a sure thing, God says, because they had somber pain. Okay, he fought them, somebody who didn't look like him. Not physically, but mentally, verbally, financially, emotionally, because he gave them a hard way to go as far as giving them some help. He needed to move fast on it, but he didn't. Okay, so we have, may I have a word with you, Miss Blank. Let's put this over here. Survive. This is the end and right there. Let's roll. Okay, let's go. I hear Emily. Maybe somebody named Emily was there. Somebody named Emily was there. What's somebody named Emily was there? Emily, Susie, Wanda, Tamika, Tammy, Joseph, Dawn, Rabbit, Ronald. Okay, missing children. So we got somebody who missing their children because their children got separated or their children died at the time. You might go and eat something creamy, like some ice cream, or it might was mushy in the water, or whatever the creamy stands for, okay? Okay, so they was nervous about being at a place, a relaxation place, so I'm going to say that dome or whatever, because they got to go in that dome. So that church, you know what I'm talking about, but who all didn't know about that back then. So we got a restaurant. So we have jobs. So we're just going to put this with, they wanted equal and fair. They wanted fairness. Get what I'm saying? From the president. So some kind of way maybe the president was at a restaurant or was going to go somewhere to eat or anything like that. Because none of these people got to go in no restaurant because they was all struggling. They weren't going to no restaurant. So, or deli, it had to have been him. Right? So, I'm meant for greatness. So the people, any of these people was meant for greatness, and they knew that, and they was going to fight for their lives. But the president felt he was meant for greatness also. Okay? Why did they allow themselves to be molded? Because they was molded. They got molded because the longer he didn't come to help them, it molded them to accept whatever, to put up with whatever, to feel whatever. It made them become molded. Get what I'm saying? But he also he wasn't going to allow nobody to mold him. That's a difference in what I just said. He wasn't going to allow them to mold him because he was going to be in charge of his life and do what he wanted to do, make whatever decision he wanted to make. So you're not going to mold me. I don't care nothing about water is up to your chest. I'm going to make the decision when I'm going to make it. He wasn't going to be molded. Get what I just said? But he did mold them because they needed him, and he just treated them like he treated them. Okay, so we have in any situation, he needed to gain clarity. So he had clarity. The first day they told him, whenever it was, he had clarity, but he felt like he had to gain more and more clarity for some reason. So they wanted to gain clarity too, to see when he was sending somebody to help. They had a blank look on their face, or he did, or both of them. So what? Next, tearing another person down. So it was fighting and different arguments and different things happening at the dome just during this time period. People trying to survive, or the president as far as how he was feeling about the situation and the people. Right? They was groggy. They wanted to plant their vision, and their vision was to get away from there at that time. But he was trying to plant whatever he had in his mind set, how he wanted to handle the situation. Because he was focused on money and what he didn't want to spend or whatever was going on. how much they willing to spend, because it seems like the focus is money. They're going to let somebody die with their money. That takes me back to when that man died, was it a homeless man? Where that man died on the hospital steps. Or what they say, across the street or whatever, because you wouldn't give him hospital care. A hospital wouldn't give him hospital care. He ain't have insurance. And they wouldn't give him hospital care. And the man died across the street on the darn hospital steps. I thought that was terrible. You're going to let somebody die because they don't have money. Come on. Okay, so we have somebody taking some kind of pills, so you might have had medication during that time. If not, you somebody who was in this dome. But really, we ain't talking about one main person. We talking about a whole lot of people. Let's go. Programming. So this goes with, I had to put this with the White House and stuff like that, because it's programming agencies and places like that, people who think they own the earth, control everybody. So I got to put it with that. Look on the floor for it. So people praying, people laying on the floor, people laying in the water, dead in the water, laying on the floor. One president was looking for something that was on the floor. Take it however it is. Almost finished. Almost there. So we have right here that they tried, and they was tired of his games. He was taking too long. Felt like he was taking them for a joke, like it was a game. Or he is dealing with somebody he know, right? So somebody was raped some kind of way, and a rape in a car, by a car, in the dome, or whatever you want to call it, right? Who was drug addicted. Or was stolen from. And there was a lot of stealing going on. So let's see. I'm hearing that song. I don't know why it's coming. It's time to go now. I don't know why it's coming. It's time to go now. So it was time to go for the people, but the president wasn't moving to get them from there. It's time to go now. Because he was hooking notes with his so-called friends, the people he worked with, or he was hooking notes about the people in New Orleans. Get what I'm saying? Camouflage wouldn't work. God said he had a lot of camouflage going on because he already knew he had a sixth sense before it even got bad. God knows everything. Okay. My thoughts count. So the people thoughts counted. Why? Why didn't they say no to being molded? So they couldn't say no to being molded. They needed help right then. I feel they did say no to being molded when they was reaching out, complaining, saying they needed help or whatever. So they wasn't allowing themselves. They no longer was going to allow themselves to be molded. They was reaching out for help because they felt their thoughts counted. But remember, he wasn't going to allow nobody to mold him and tell him what to do, because he felt his thoughts counted and whatever he decided. So our connection was dismantled between him and somebody maybe he worked with, or him in New Orleans. I keep coming back to that, right? He picked door 3 for New Orleans. He didn't want to be loyal to New Orleans. Get what I just said? He picked door 3 junk. Get what I just said? For that place right there. He got a problem with that place. He considered that place junk, right? He didn't want to be loyal to them. He picked junk. Put them in door 3 junk. Get what I'm saying? It's plain and simple. He was covering all his bases in that situation. And he felt like a genius. Right? Next card is the people wanted him to have positive vibes. Right? So they could stamp their name on him. And stamp their name on him just meaning the president is sending us the help we need. But he was having positive vibes about stamping his name on something and he was trying to make his or whatever. So he's going to go ahead and begin. That's the next card. May I have to work with you, Miss Blank? So he might have talked to some lady, whoever she was, a business lady. Or we got somebody who a survivor from that situation who want to talk to a business lady or going to talk to a lawyer or anything like that. So we have, he need to take the reins and run with it and be the God in him if he got God in him, because he wasn't acting like God was in him back then. But the people themselves was going to take the reins and be the God in themselves because they had no other choice but to hold on to God. And soon they wanted to be led to that path, because asking God, God, what is our path? Because they had to depend on a man to help them that didn't care. And after they got rescued eventually, whenever that happened, they had to sit down and talk like in support groups or whatever they had to sit at, because they had to try to heal and invite in that healing. So I'm going to end it there. Man, this Hurricane Katrina, right? And I'm getting this all because I keep hearing about the Hurricane Milton. So it's taking me back to Hurricane Katrina because that was devastating for me and I wasn't even in it. So, yeah. So, okay, so, this is the Brass Love One Healer Tarot 9 here on YouTube. So, blessings to all the people who made it out of Hurricane Katrina. You went through all kind of torment and torture, and you had to come a long way, and some of you are just wounded still from that, because you can't change things that happen, and you can't bring back family members you've lost, pets you've lost, family that's been displaced that you don't know where they at or whatever. You can't do anything about it, but just keep trying to live your life the healthiest as possible. I thank God that you made it, whoever you are. I thank God you made it. And if your family member is out there, that you can find your family member if your family member is alive. Because there's always hope. And I do believe in miracles. Anything is possible. You can find your brother tomorrow. Get what I'm saying? This is the Brass Love One Healer Tarot 9 here on YouTube. Peace.